Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Matt. The channel is Dollar Box Bangers. Today I want to go over a quick whatnot purchase. Then I want to talk about my latest prospect card that I bought, and it's kind of the biggest gamble that I've taken so far as prospecting goes. So I'll tell you that story. So we're going to start off. I'll show you the sell sheet here. So I bought 4 lots, $3, $4, $5, and $10. So that adds up to 22 plus another, say, 5 in shipping, 27. We'll call it, another $2 or $3 in tax. We'll just round up to 30. So call it $30 for the lot that I'm about to show you. And right out of the gate, this is not a lot that I plan to flip necessarily. I don't think it would be successful, number one, if I tried to flip it. And number two, a lot of these guys, I just kind of want to sit and wait and see what happens. So that's kind of the theme with this lot. So first, Jason Dominguez, non-first mojo. He actually had a pretty decent year this year. Kind of one of those guys that got so hyped up, probably never going to live up to the hype, but still very young, still a good baseball player. And this is the type of card for, a dollar or two I'll buy now and sit on and just see what happens. There's very low risk in something like this. So that's the Dominguez. Torkelson, he was probably part of a lot, but good player. 2 Adleys. I know he's been tearing it up lately. A lot of people think he's going to be really good for a really long time. So, these are 2 cards that I'll sit and let marinate, and maybe they turn into $5, $6 cards at some point. I don't think they're anywhere near that right now, but we'll see. Again, low risk, couple bucks a piece. So, next one up, Wilman Diaz, non-first mojo. I think this was a Dodgers lot, and this was not the card I was after. Luis Rodriguez, first mojo. I think Lou Rod came out in 2021 Bowman Chrome, if I'm not mistaken, and he was pretty much the biggest chase card when that set came out. Has one of the nicest autographs I've ever seen, but I don't think he's done much this year. Born in 02, so he's 21 years old, so still young-ish. But really don't know how he's performed. I can tell you I haven't heard much talk about him this year at all, so I would assume he's not playing that well. But again, just a nice first Bowman mojo of a guy who a lot of smart people thought was going to be good. So again, all these cards I'm just going to sit on and see what happens. Next up, Rubio Angeles, refractor auto. This one was kind of a surprise. He was born in 02, but look at those stats. In 434 at-bats this year, or in 2021, excuse me, he slugged 445 with a 329 average. That 329 average is awesome. Not a lot of pop, only 4 home runs, but I mean, if you can hit 330 over 434 plate appearances, that's pretty good. So hopefully that can continue as he progresses in the minors. But for a $5 flyer, absolutely. I'll have to look more into this guy because he's kind of got me intrigued now. But cheap auto, another one I'm just going to sit on. And finally, the big card, if you want to call it that, in this slot is the Khalil Watson Sky Blue. I would imagine most of you guys know about his antics. He got into some trouble this year, and he's been pretty awful. But, he was the biggest chase card when 2022 Bowman came out. Is a guy everybody was chasing. So I think there's still hope there. And for $10, I get it's a paper parallel, but it's just the $10 gamble that I'm willing to take on a guy who I don't think anybody would disagree has pretty awesome potential. Strikes out a ton. He's got to get that figured out. But still young and worth a $10 gamble in my opinion. So that was the lot. Again, call it $30. All of these, there's not a single card in here that I'm going to sell right away. Going to sit on these and call it a day and just kind of see how it turns out in a year or so. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is my biggest prospect purchase in a while. And I want to show, if I can get my computer to work here, bear with me. All right, so if you guys remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago maybe, I did the video about the Spencer Steer auto that I bought. I'll spare you the story anyway. I wound up keeping the card, and I want to say I bought it for $20.50. Call it 25, 26 bucks all in. Well, I recently sold it for 90. So, you know, take out fees and whatnot. I'm going to call it a $50 profit on that Spencer Steer flip, which was pretty sweet. So I sell that card. I'm feeling good. I'm like, all right, who's next? You know, who am I? What's the next play? And I landed on a guy named Matt Wallner. I saw this card on eBay. It's a black parallel out of 75 auto. He is a Twins outfielder in AAA. He's almost 25, which isn't great, but I think he's got a path to the major leagues. It may not be this year, but I think he has a chance to get called up. And you know, he's the type of guy that I tend to target. You know, he's a high strikeout guy that hits home runs and has some pop. You know, this guy, the card was up for 125. Long story short, after like my fourth offer, I get up to $100 and the guy accepts it. So I'm $100 into this card, and it was a big gamble. I'm nervous about this one, if I'm being honest. So we'll see. I like being in the $20 to $40 range. That's kind of the sweet spot. And buying a $100 card raw is definitely a huge gamble. But anyway, let's talk about Matt Wallner for a second. So let's pull him up. All right, where are we? So in AAA, ads. All right. So in 191 plate appearances, he's got 5 home runs. Walks 16% of the time, which is good. A high K rate, almost 30%, which is bad. Almost a 200 ISO, which is good. 242 average, which is okay. WOBA of 366. And a WRC plus of 121. So he's an above average hitter. You know, would like to see a little more pop, but hopefully that comes. Like I said, I was curious about this guy because I think he has a legit chance at getting called up next year because the Twins outfield just isn't that great. So let's pull up their depth chart. So I want to say he's a right fielder. So let's look at their outfielders real quick. All right, so in left field, you got Kirilloff. I mean, he's probably going to be around a while, but he is hurt. Nick Gordon, Kyle Gerlich don't do much for me. Buxton, he's going to be around a while. So to me, it's kind of between Celestino and Wallner. But I don't know. You know, Kepler, is he dust? I don't know, maybe. Billy Hamilton, he's dust. Gerlich, I don't know much about him. Nick Gordon, I'm not a Nick Gordon guy. So I think there is a legit possibility that Matt Wallner could get some playing time next year, and that's kind of why I took a shot on him, you know. So anyway, guys, that's the latest pickups and gamble. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.